Well, our pet therapist Peter Neville is dealing with a cat that won't stop scratching, not itself, but the carpet.
This is Zuki, a cute cat with a common behaviour problem. She scratches the carpets all over the home and manages to cause quite a lot of damage. Cats are wonderful as pets because they usually don't give us any behaviour problems at all. But when they do, it's usually some aspect of their natural behaviour that can cause the problem.
She's always been rather a strange cat.
Does he mean sensitive?
Very sensitive, super sensitive, yes.
Mm-hmm. Is she reactive to sounds and so on around the house?
She's hypersensitive to any noise. It took her a very long time to get used to all the household noises, the Hoover and the washing machine.
But by and large, you've learned to cope.
Oh,
with
she's
that.
lovely. She's a wonderful companion. She's great fun and
So what's
plays
the problem?
games. The problem is, I'm afraid, that she scratches the carpet. Mostly at the corners of the doors, but not only that, I mean, almost anywhere, really. Someone told me to put pepper down, which I did once try, but doesn't really work because it either gets hoovered up or she simply moves elsewhere. And the main thing I do is to use bits of silver paper.
Putting down silver paper certainly does seem to put Zuki off scratching by the doors. But then, again, she usually just goes and finds another place to scratch. And of course, having a house full of silver paper is not really on when you have visitors. So Vivian not only spends a lot of time putting it all down, but also taking it all up again. The reason that cats scent mark furnishings with their face glands, or, more emphatically, sometimes scratch at carpets, is to make them feel relaxed at home, by surrounding themselves with their own scent and visual signals. The first thing to look at in this type of case is the sort of facilities that the cat is expected to use to sharpen its claws. And if we look at this well-used scratching post here, you can see that Zuki's been scratching very well. The problem is that this is made of carpet, and so she builds up an association of using carpet as the place to scratch her claws. So we'll do away with this one, and we'll introduce this one, which is much nicer. From the cat's point of view, it actually gives a much better surface to scratch claws. But this sisal wrapping here is obviously a very different texture to carpet. And if we put this in the same place as this one used to be, hopefully she'll just transfer her behaviour onto this new surface. Zuki should start to show some interest in using the new scratching facility within a few days. And Vivian can try other suggestions, such as synthetic face mark sprays, to encourage her to stop scratching and to face mark again at those places instead. Hey, she's almost getting the hang of it. This is not just a house problem. The family often go on holiday in their camper van, and Zuki goes too. Well, it's quite unusual to see a cat in a van.
We started from having her as a tiny kitten, so she's well used to coming with us. She comes several times a year.
Oh, lovely. Cat on holiday. See, your van's been the victim of one or two little scratchy areas
Yes, I'm
as well.
afraid she does it in here as well, and these are two of her favourite places.
I think in inaccessible places you're going to have trouble getting these sisal wrap things.
Yeah.
But I think here, you know, you can screw it here onto the fittings, so you could actually somewhere in there. Well, we've had an interesting problem with Zuki. It's indoors and mobile. Asked it to do quite a lot of things to try and settle it down. Did you think you were going to be able to apply that?
Well, I'm certainly going to give them all a try, yes. Make life much easier for us if we can conquer this, because she's a wonderful little cat, and hopefully I might be able to afford a new carpet one day.
Excellent.
I have a letter here from Liz Clark in Easton, in Bristol, and she's wondering if you can help her with her English Bull Terrier. Apparently the dog will not drop any sticks, so she picks up a stick and throws it. The dog grabs it, and she can't get the stick away from the dog. It sort of hangs on for dear life and won't put it down until it's fed up with it.
Yes.
What can she do?
I know how she feels, because I used to have an English Bull Terrier, a cross with a Border Collie, and his name was Scud. And it took me about a year to get him to give up toys and balls that had been thrown. But you do get there in the end. What you mustn't do is grab the toy and start having a tug of war, because that's exactly what he wants. When he brings the stick and he won't give back to you, you walk away, ignore him. But at other times, perhaps back in the front room, you give him an object and you don't let it go, and you offer him a reward that he has to let go in order to get the little food reward. And then you attach a command of release or give to that. So you train it away.
People normally sort of go leave, don't they? Leave and do all this sort of number. That doesn't work.
Well, not if the dog doesn't know what leave means. You have to teach him what leave means, you see. So, but Bull Terriers have solid concrete between the head. They're very lovely. I love them to death. But you do have to work a little bit harder with them.
So you're saying bribe with food?
No, you train for release commands with food. The food is the reward. And then you attach the command to the releasing.
Okay.
And then go outside and hopefully it works.
Because dogs don't understand English, but they understand titbits.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay. This one comes from Tasha Campbell from Pucklechurch. Dear Peter, I have 2 cats who have always been great companions to me and my husband. However, I recently gave birth to a baby girl and noticed that their behaviour changed. They've become bad-tempered and nervous and started looking very unhappy. Do you think it's because they're feeling left out? What can I do?
Yes, I think in the general sense they are feeling certainly that things have changed, and of course they have. The smells around the house have changed, the routines have changed, the cats are probably being woken up in the middle of the night as well. And so there's a lot of strange goings on, and it basically puts the cats on edge. They're always reactive. So what the lady describes as being grumpy is in fact just a cat that is starting to sort of sulk and lash out a little bit.
So what can you
do? In time they do come round. The important thing is to give cats a nice, secure, warm area that's theirs. Try and devote a little bit of time to grooming them and petting them and fussing them. Divide their meals into frequent small feeds because that keeps them bonded to the people. And in time they will get used to the babies. Honestly, again, I speak from experience.
If you have any problems for Peter Neville or any comments about the programme in general, write to People and Pets, HDB Community Unit, 13 Midland Road, Bristol, BS2 OJT. Well, that's just about it from this week's People and Pets. We're going out on a happy note, though, because this cat was brought into the RSPCA. It was dumped on the side of a road in a box. Can you imagine anyone doing that? Well, the good news is this morning we found out that he's got a new home and he's going in the morning. Aren't you? Aren't you a lucky cat? Well, that's it. Join us again next week for more People and their Pets.